7-2, 7-3. Ridiculous scoreline for them. But now we're here. Geekay up against BDS on a map that Geekay hasn't even touched. They didn't even have to try and delve into this well at all during their own region, and they haven't even had to look towards it for play-ins or the Swiss stage just yet. I think that we have a heck of a game on our hands. I'm hoping so for GK's sake, because they've been representing so hard for MENA, and I don't want it to stop now.
But for GK, if they can win this map, as Jesse mentioned, combining the MENA stats and the Atlanta stats, they're 10-0 so far inside of just maps won in stage 2, regional and international competition. But that's with playing a lot of the maps. 7 maps played, all across the board. And they haven't touched Nighthaven. If they come out after their victory against W7M today and not just beat BDS on their best map, but beat BDS on Nighthaven, we might have a MENA team where this is their first international event who have an 8 or 9 map pool. I mean, listen, you've been around a long time. You're in tune with Siege history. I would dare say that's unprecedented for a team of this level, of this newness, the international stage. If they can win this here, GK might be the #1 most feared team at the tournament afterwards. Yeah, this for me, this eclipses even like the Mantis FPS run in 2019, where, you know, we got to see what South Korea had to offer at that time. But, you know, nowadays things have changed up. There for quite some time, it was really just a battle of the three bigs, right? North America, Brazil, as well as Europe. There's nothing really happening outside of those 3 regions, but now we have some incredible talent across the entirety of, you know, every single region. It's so very cool that we're at this point where, you know, you can go look at Japan, see a team like Crest. You go to MENA, you see teams like Falcons and GK. It's just such a cool thing, you know, in the modern day of Siege. But hey, here we go. BDS versus GK. We got the bans through. A lot of normal things, but then we have Sledge as that very starter ban. That was banned out by GK. How are you feeling about this? How does this work into the strategy of this map? So the Sledge is surprising, at least for one facet, because that's an operator Key has been playing quite a bit of, and him and Hasham have really been the big standout performers, I would say, on GK so far this tournament, specifically when it comes to 1vx's. On attack and defense, Key, when he won 2 or 3 1vx's against NIP all the way back in plans, a couple of them were on Sledge, that comfort operator. But of course, by taking off the Sledge, you're restricting the amount of soft breach the attack has to offer. It's also sometimes an operator players like Renshiro like to play as well. So there is logic to it, and it now means that operators like Buck, like Ram, need to be played by BDS if they want to go for that soft destruction. And what do you know? 10 seconds assuming he can change it, LickyFac might just pick the Ram going into this action phase. But for the defensive bans as well, Fenrir, Azami, not too uncommon, but the Dokkaebi ban from BDS is interesting because this map relies a lot on full clears, so that's hampering their attacks to start, but their drones were excellent against SSG yesterday, and this is a tool that Trixt makes great use of. They're denying it to him while still keeping strength in their droning. They don't need the Dokkaebi to win. They're going to have to try and flex those muscles here again today because, as you said, this is a map where, you know, you really want to be able to clear things out and try and use the full breadth of things, but it also makes it to where the defense can have a very solid roam game. You know, it's not something like a Chalet where you can get cut off very easily. There's a lot of, you know, very centralized rooms to kind of mess around with. Hasham is still here, and that is going to be the second Boogie drone gone. And he's back also not babying the window either, so he's not actually going to really get anything out of this situation. And that's a huge stop here from GK, and again, showing the muscles of this roam and what you have to try and clear. Definitely a bit of a waste of utility right there. Key, oh no, does not go down. Huge pickup by Hasham. BDS damaging Key repeatedly, end up taking him down, but GK get away with that trade. And unfortunately, we've lost that C4 from Key, but you've also lost the flashbangs, the intel gathering from Alems. But honestly, on a map that takes so long to clear, that you need to have all your pieces intact, GK are denying so much map control from BDS to acquire. 4v3 now established, and one of our big concerns was, will BDS just run roughshot over these roamers with player like Shaiko and Alems? GK have come to play. Attackers recover. This was the big prospect when we were looking at this game, right, Lynx? Looking at Shaiko, looking at people like Brede, Alems, seeing what they can do up against a team that has so much talent, especially mechanically. They've been playing off of each other so well, and Hasham, he's going to get away with this one too. Takes down Renshiro. EFAC a nice pickup, but he's battling back, and EFAC, you have nothing in your hands, son. A triple for Hasham, and he'll finally go down, but there's 3 more bodies for Shaiko to find. It'd be a masterclass here inside the first round already from him, but GK
showing just what this map is capable of, especially with a more aggressive roam, forcing BDS to clear map control, and Shaiko's just going to run in. There's really nothing there for him. No drone work to be had. Just has to try and get something going, but a perfect defense here from GK, all things considered. Absolutely love the pressure that we saw upstairs, especially out of Hasham. That initial interaction with EFAC was so awkward for EFAC. He did not know what was happening to that boogie drone at all. They were really not committed to their drones, and honestly, I really love that we pointed out how good their drone game has been, because it was lacking so hard in that round, Carter.
And so to start on the first round in the drone game, specifically on clearing out Hasham on the top floor, Trixt as well to a lesser extent up top, but Hasham saw the most action, 3K in round 1. Really not much done by BDS to deal with him, and maybe that's a little bit of first round nerves. Okay, we're going to make some mistakes early on in the game, because it was incredible against SSG yesterday on Skyscraper, a map that's very difficult to attack and necessitates the attack to be clinical on their clears if they want to get a huge amount of rounds in that half. Nighthaven's very similar, not necessarily in structure, but in that you need to have that drone game on point. So big mistakes from BDS in round 1. They let GK, who, if you give them engagements, Hasham will win them. He has been the big defensive player so far inside of Phase 2, albeit only after the first map yesterday. But if you give him that space to roam, he's not just going to do nothing with it.
No, he's confident. He's confident in it. You know what I mean? Like, he's not trying to play too safe. He's playing things how he normally would go about it, and it's working extremely well for him. You know, that pressure around the window is extremely impressive indeed. So EFAC, after that initial round, not starting off too strongly. See if they...
Oh!
Wow. What a find there from Noodle. An insane cover. They read that back and forth.
I mean, that's just...
The communication is insane. That was such a solid read. They hear that window break, immediately make the adjustment over towards Garage, Carter. That's what you want to see out of team play right there.
That's the team play you want to see from people who actually can make a deep run, who aren't just getting fluke rounds here and there. We see Trixt realize that LeakyFact hops in the window, and he doesn't peek. He plays it patiently, letting Noodle get in position. And also, we're seeing GK out-frag BDS in key moments. Shaiko, the next one to fall. No trade from BDS. It's a 5v3 now, and the other big point we've seen from GK, they don't get too over-aggressive. They are able to recognize when they have these man advantages and they fall off. They then play the bomb site, play the setup, and what do you see when that thermite opens? Somebody immediately hops back into the bomb site and they play the angles inside of it. GK are not letting this advantage slip away right now.
No, it's like when you and I were talking to Leader about this. He's just able to provide that cadence, right? Everybody has this amazing mechanical gun skill and a really good understanding of the game of Rainbow Six Siege. But with Leader in here, he's able to just put the collar on him in a certain way to make it to where it is so difficult to get rounds back like this, especially when you're lacking a player like Shaiko. It just feels aimless. I mean, where do you go with this? Especially after losing those two, you're going to lose Renshiro here too. The drone economy is practically out the window because the Lems has to stay gun up. You're really just going to hope for maybe Shaiko to sit on like a flank drone or something like that and find something. Yeah, Leader's going to over-address this a bit, but we can kind of flirt with this back and forth. And yeah, I'm gonna sit in the same boat with you. This is exactly where we kind of want to pump the brakes.
Yeah, this is that GK definitely starting to get a bit over aggressive, letting their youth, their passion drive their play. Leader and Trixt both taking some 1v1s with the Lems with a nice angle over that reinforcement, and will pay for it. And another player playing close on connector. Lems and Bride, what a fearsome duo to work this 2v5 down to a 2v3. They flash off the electrical position. Bride now pushed on in. He's got a hole right next to this mirror window. This is not winnable for BDS, but so long as GK don't start swinging these angles. But Hasham is now giving opening after opening for BDS to exploit. Bride will just hold close on the mirror window as long as he needs. 19 seconds is an eternity if the defense keeps giving you damage after damage. Two different players now from GK, low HP. Flash goes on in. They've got intel on the player close on the wall. Bride cannot win the engagement. Good pickup from Hasham. Good pickup by Lems. But the second round comes forth for GK, but definitely making it harder than it needed to be.
A little overzealous at certain moments, but they were able to allow the cooler heads to prevail there near the tail end. A little risky there, but obviously that Mav torch can be very, very quiet, so more than likely had no idea that was even there in the first place and kind of got caught off guard, but you could see their immediate reaction, and that's what we really want to highlight is their ability to slow things down and force the offense into the site. You don't want to overswing things and just give bodies over for no reason. And now a lot of considerations to be had for BDS, and you know, I know we're only through 2 rounds on their offensive side so far, but you're already seeing the really big gaps in that Dokkaebi ban.
At the end of the day, if you are going to ban that Dokkaebi on Nighthaven, it's such a big map that there often will just be gaps that even teams that are excellent at droning, you might just miss. And BDS, they will keep a lot of those gaps closed. They won't necessarily give players the opportunity to go for those picks. But when you have a map that's so large, have a map that needs so much to or so much to be done to be clear, sometimes it's just going to happen. And in a best of one especially, when this is the only map you've got to play, those are going to punish you that much more. This being the first map of best of 3, let's say GK win it, but then we have a smaller map like Chalet afterwards. BDS could completely shore up that mistake. But when this is the one map you're playing, you need to make sure that it's on point. And that Dokkaebi ban seems to be hurting them a little bit.
Yeah, the clear is feeling awkward, but I think it's mostly feeling awkward because they're very spread across the map right now. And that's all well and good, but when you start losing bodies left and right and there's nobody, there's no shoulder to cry on, there's nobody there to try and come back and hold this back across the line, things get really volatile very quickly, especially on a map like this, because it requires so much heavy lifting. You need bodies, you need guns. So, let's see if BDS can try and fix this up. They're already going to break glass in case of emergency, slapping Breed on the Monty here.
And there is one player directly next to him as well. Look at this from BDS, a lot closer together. Renshiro and Alems next to each other. Brady and, I was about to say Licky Fact next to each other, but he's able to take one down. Brady actually with Shaiko, but Brady also almost 1 foot into the grave. 4v4, Shaiko with the wraparound, but Key still somehow with the pistol kill. Shaiko might just find one, but GK on this roam have certainly damaged BDS to a scary extent. Shaiko now alone inside the building as Alems and Renshiro have been on this balcony the entire round up until this point. And it's not an advantage like GK had in the last round, but there's still one player on the roam.
Just the body language in that interaction that we saw. You can see that BDS is already kind of...
They're nervous.
Yeah, they're worried about how this is going to go, man. You can definitely tell, especially with that interaction with Bride and that Monty, just getting a little over-aggressive when Shaiko is actually just right within the same vicinity. You guys can handle that together, probably keep the shield up. But, I mean, hey, at least it got into the 3 versus 3. So we'll see what they can do from here. Potential springboard to pick up their first round, but it's going to be a tall ask. Kashom has been gunning for this team so far, but he's going to go down to Alems as they play patiently. The kitchen site, not all that great, to be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of it, and this is really why. The clear is not all that difficult. You get these walls open, you play things out patiently, and things can most definitely go your way. Great call there from BDS to slow things down and see what the response was going to be from GK.
And how they almost won that previous round, round 2, where Alems is just sitting there picking off people as they peek him. That's way easier on a site like Kitchen, because as you said, once you open up that wall, it sees the entirety of the bomb sites. It's completely free. That's why they brought the OSA as well, because let's say it's a 5v5 or 4v4 different round, they'll move in, place the talent shield. They've got someone who can plant the bomb and an attacker or 2 attackers behind her that can just cut off anybody that tries to rotate up, C4, smoke, killer, whatever.
I mean, what do you need on that site, right?
Exactly.
You need meeting upstairs and you need lobby. That's it. That's literally it.
And ultimately what happened was, even though it was a 3v3, BDS were able to take down most of the roams, save for one Solus up top. So once that fell, it's so easy to push in.
Yeah.
Big problem with the bomb side, as you said.
Yeah, and definitely one that, in a perfect world, I wouldn't see any professional team go to.
Yes,
but,
I agree.
Hey, it is what it is. People got to try things out and see what's going on. And if it works for them, then it's working for us, as I always say.
10 seconds left.
So, GK, you're going to try and shift gears and go back downstairs. This is the fantastic roam that we saw them start off with, but that also begs a BDS response. They knew what they did wrong last time. It really started off with EFAC having some issues trying to break up some flooring over inside of barrels, but it was quickly handled as GK was able to get some nice kills under their belt. BDS looking to try and right the ship here, get the wind in their sails, and try and tie things up on this offense.
Keeping the momentum low for GK, making sure they're fighting for every single round that what needs to happen when you're fighting an underdog team. Once they feel that chance and luck, fate is on their side, that's when scary, scary plays start to happen. They find Trixt on this top floor, who is left undealt with for a good majority of the round. Also spotting another roamer, the Valkyrie playing on the middle floor. Noodle and Trixt both spotted by the defense, but Alems just begins to creep in. Not a lot of presence on the site. In fact, no one inside of tank. Great read from Alems and the rest of BDS. Will they find the Legion? There's one watching the doorway. Oh, but a key victory by a leader. It was an opportunity recognized by BDS, but one now unrealized thanks to the Legion.
Why are we inactive on this side of the map, though, BDS? We're going to have Alems push all the way forward and make a deep lunge, but nobody's there. Shaiko's not even there to try and assist him.
They've recovered.
Not exactly the best situation that they put themselves in, because they've especially kind of given up the goods in a way. They know exactly where the strategy is going to be coming from. Brady is going to go down. Shaiko's able to move in. He might be able to get this kill on the stairwell. Nice angle find there as he'll take down Key, but they're still stuck inside of Animus. They have to try and get out into tank and get this plant down, but GK more than likely have a response lined up.
One of them was the mute walking down the cargo stairs, but now Shaiko's found that they have control of tank, at least directly inside of the bomb site, but there are players up above. That's Solus, the Valkyrie that we saw, the BDS drone at the beginning, who've moved down to the middle floor now, or at least are in close proximity to do a rotation down to it, who are forcing this vertical control to be a fight for BDS to take. Leaky Fax now hopped in. Nobody, again, directly around him, but it's that passive threat, that phantom pressure GK are applying, now taken form by a C4 from a Shome. Shaiko just barely spotting another one. No gunfight just yet. 2 players inside the site, 2 on the roam, but still no ground gain for BDS.
And Shiro, he's gotten in behind tank, and this is where things get serious now. They've got EFAC up top. It's a pseudo-fragger. He's already done his job. Nobody needs assistance with that. The bomb will go down. It's 2 to find. Shaiko will be able to pick up at least one. EFAC with one of his own as he flanks down low.
He set.
Shaiko, knows he has one on the hatch. Good coverage here as he will be inside of Animus, but at the back end, and Trix with a hell of a shot will shut down the French powerhouse.
GK are just winning so many of these fights. I mean, right there, that was a 1v1 given to Shaiko. If they lose that 1v1, we're sitting here saying, oh, why would he peek him by himself? There's nobody to play his trade. The defense has to react in time. And hey, maybe that happens. But still, the fact that they're able to win these fights, the GK are going frag for frag, player for player, with a team like BDS, who won a major a year ago. Major champions. They might have had a bad stage last time, but they've come to play as the runner-ups of EUL this time, and GK are meeting them wherever those players want to enter the map.
Oh, Carter, they're making them sweat right now.
They are.
The fact that we saw Alems lunge so deeply without any assistance from the rest of BDS doesn't even seem like a BDS thing to do to me. Like, the fact that Shaiko is actually downstairs and just not active in that same moment is so very awkward. And that's where you lead to these coin flip gunfights, where if leader's got the right angle, you just give up a body and there's no one there to do anything with it. And that's what leads to Shaiko standing in tank for 2 minutes.
Yes. But a key point about leader winning that gunfight, something that Jesse brought up on the desk, is that BDS had a ridiculous entry conversion rate, you know, getting in, I think, like 86% of the time and converting it 78% of the time. I mean, absurd stuff, especially on the defense. Want to know how GK have been countering that? They've just been killing them quicker. They've just been getting the opening pick more often. I mean, 4 rounds now. It seems like GK are constantly the ones setting the pace. Maybe he gets traded out, even on that kitchen round. GK started and immediately traded back. But this is also what I'm saying. How do we take away the conversion chance that BDS have? We set up a shield with ADSs right there, and we take the fight to them. Now, that's a very risky position, don't get me wrong. If they commit to it too hard, I could easily see a team as coordinated as BDS just nading them. Yeah. But still, that indicates the mindset GK are playing with.
And you can see why it's putting BDS on their heels. You know what I mean? Because this is something that BDS isn't exactly used to. They're used to everybody having that fear instilled in them before the game even starts. Like, oh, I'm playing against Shaiko. Oh, I'm playing against, you know, EFAC. I'm playing against Alems. And BDS has been such a solid team for so very long. I think this is one of those situations where GK just really have something to prove, and they really do not care who is across from them. And that's just fantastic to see. So we'll see if they can continue on this tear. These defenses have looked very solid. Even the round that BDS picked up, it was a kitchen defense.
It was, but one that also GK worked to a 3v3, and then BDS had to work with minimal resources. It was still one where GK, a very active force in this round. BDS, minute 15 in, trying to gain some activity, struggling to open the IT breach at the moment, but they're so focused on that shield. The burn comes in, they destroy it. Now they feel a lot more comfortable to open up this wall. So nobody playing it, but again, it's the phantom pressure. They don't open it, they're not playing the shield whatsoever. It's just meant to scare BDS and waste 10, 15 seconds here or there.
And they did even more than that. That's half the round there. And yeah, they've gotten some bodies in. Shaiko's in up top, but he's very low right now. I think it was a nitro cell or something of the sort. Don't exactly know what happened through there, but either way, he ended up going down due to it. No Nitro Cell's lacking in the pockets of the defense, so genuinely don't really know what happened there. Might have done it to himself with a frag grenade, who really knows. But either way, though, some drones rolling in now for server. Hashom will be here with leader in tow. They've got an IT breach open at a bare minimum, so pressure needs to start boiling up here, but they're going to need Shaiko's assistance. He's right on the door, but remember, he is on low HP.
One thing to consider, though, Trixt, while Hashom's getting a fight inside of the site, GK do have a player hitting the flank on the back side, but it's a 4v3 right now. Effective 4v2 on the bomb site as it's just Leader and Hashom playing inside the CC position. BDS have flooded in through Garage and have taken fervent control of half of the site. But can these three defenders, now mount some more pressure? More flashes send him on in. BDS rotating behind the A-bomb. Big pickup from Alems. All of GK stuck on this part of the bomb site with Shiro cutting it in half. Looking the wrong way. Leader doesn't pick it up, but the bomb goes down now. Alems a huge kill to find. Leader now has to find 2 more. Intel on 1. There's another playing on the other side. He has to win this isolated one, but the crossfire from BDS is too strong. That is the BDS round we needed to see.
That's the BDS that we're used to seeing right there. The decision-making to keep the bodies over on the garage side and exploit, the command center side of the bomb site. They have Shaiko and everybody kind of built up around IT as well as server/gen. But that's really what convinces GK of that position. You're like, oh, Shaiko's trying to enter from this side. They're going to want to try and take the IT breach, swing in towards Leader. Not the case at all. They smoke the door, they plant on the backside and force them to retake the site. Masterfully done from BDS, and a good wake-up call in the moment to keep this scoreline palatable.
I literally sacrificed Shaiko just to gain a better position. I mean, that's chess at its finest right there.
Oh, it's my queen. Take it. Oh, wait, you lost the game.
Yeah. Just a huge rotation from BDS, and if we see another round like that as GK are trying the second floor bomb site a second time, it might just get this. But another thing I was talking about with Jesse, GK have a crazy recovery rate when it comes to lost bomb sites. I don't remember the exact number, but it's in the 80% of when they lose a bomb site, they're able to recover. Now, obviously, small sample size. They've only played 3 rounds in Atlanta so far, but GK are a team that knows the mistakes they make and know how to recover. And right there, if they recognize as well that they were having Trixt flank up the lobby stairs to retake Gen, but then suddenly BDS just rotate to the other side, they've proven they won't make that mistake again.
I think we're going to have Noodle in the roam down here, too, on the Solus. I really like this. I really like this pick. You and I talk back and forth about this all the time. I think she's a little busted just because she is such a detriment to the drone economy. But I digress. She is really, really solid when it comes to the roam game, not only because she has that impact, but she also is able to, like I was saying, get rid of all those drones and really open up the field for her own rotations. And any time that you can kind of be self-serving in that way with any operator, you're more than likely going to see a lineup with something like that. It reminds you of like the old Pulse plays, that kind of thing. So fantastic stuff. We'll see if Noodle will be able to exploit this to its fullest ability.
One thing you do have to be careful, though, is Solus often is playing in those solo positions, and BDS, if they do recognize that Noodle's too far away from the rest of the defense, send Shaiko, send someone to play his trade, just to move down there, take out that solo roamer, go back to the rest of the take with a man advantage, while Bride is opening the wall at the moment. Connector wall already opened up as BDS want to make use of this Mav. Thatcher's on the board, they don't care. Thermite's on the board, they don't care. Bride has really focused on the Mav for these upstairs defenses, while Thermite has been reserved for the other bomb sites they've played on this map. Still a 5v5, and now that he's rotated over to the IT breach, seems like we're on a similar pace to the previous attack.
Yeah, most definitely. Actually, exactly in timing as well. 1:35 right now as he's opening this breach. They got it open at about 1:26 the last time. Gonna get some soft destruction over here to open up both of these walls respectively. But all this has done is kept things very quiet and allowed Shaiko especially to start working the map, work things forward, see if anybody wants to try and respond in a certain way. He's going to play patiently here for quite some time. This is probably going to build up like we saw on the previous round, where they'll try and pull pressure and then bring it back across the line, more than likely with like a back hit or something like that.
But Noodle's also rotated into the bomb site now. Was on the roam at the beginning, but now is in the site to spot those drones if they're going for a different side, to figure out, all right, are BDS baiting us with this push, or is it where they're actually pushing from? Trixt is now the only one playing off-site, and Shaiko's worried about it, worried about someone flanking up those lobby stairs. BDS taking a lot of time to get all their ducks in a row. Maybe just too long. Key finds one. A second player takes that fight, but Alems somehow trades it out. Secures control of Aqua Stairs, while Renshiro cuts down Noodle in the site. Intel for the defense, now a little bit lacking in control for BDS in quite a large supply. They have moved into Connector, moved into Electrical. Alems has the Aqua side as well. Oh, but Leader shuts it down. GK can now focus all entirely on the IT and the connector push. Hashom with a messy engagement gives GK the advantage they need. They can play trade off the remaining defender. C4 flies out, but it goes out the window. The lineup's actually a little too good, and the angle's a little too poor. Renshiro recovers, cuts down Hashom, flashes go in, but blind Renshiro, so he's got to take cover. That's a key amount of seconds now wasted. He's the only one covering, but he's got a line directly on the doorway, got a line directly on Leader, but the C4 goes out and he's not watching! Watching the IT connector instead. Leader gets GK the 4-2 half.
And BDS, so very close to pulling the exact same thing that we saw in the last round. But those minor adjustments from GK, and I'm really happy that you referenced that as well in their playbacks, because right there, it was not a whole sweeping change of how they played out that round. Extremely similar utility, put somebody downstairs to recognize what was happening with the roam game, or rather roam clear, and then address things accordingly for the map pressure. And that was the key factor there, especially for Hashom. His patience around that rotation for connector was unprecedented.
And even then, if BDS maybe win that fight with Hashom, they're able to win that one. Maybe they end up winning the round, but it's still, GK are able to win those close fights with some of the best players in the world, Shaiko being one of them, but then also EFAC having a poor game so far. Bride, 0-5 at the moment. He's obviously not the one getting the kills, but some BDS players aren't showing up at the moment, whereas GK are also a little lopsided, but Hashom in particular is playing lights out.
Yeah, Hashom is looking so very solid right now. I mean, we're only halfway through this game. 6 rounds in, the guy's already got 9 kills. Truly impressive stuff, especially up against a team that is so unbelievably talented like BDS. And honestly, man, like, this just goes to show you how insane this major has been so far. Like, we don't even have a crowd yet, and we're having games like this.
Just makes you excited for when we do get a crowd, especially...
Tell me about it.
Especially if GK can keep making this run. I mean, guys, we might have one of the best storylines, dare I say, in the past 3-4 years
of all time. If they do, yeah, if they get to like finals, like even if they don't win it, dude, for Leader and Noodle to join this team and then be playing like this up against a squad like BDS is actually just so insane.
And their path through Swiss so far, W7M, BDS. I mean, W7M were coming in cold yesterday. BDS had has as good a warm up as you could hope for in their game against SSG yesterday to restore confidence, to practice their play, and it worked out perfectly. But the attacks aren't certain just yet. GK are still comparatively, especially the more inexperienced team, and Nighthaven being a large map, they've played default comfort maps like Clubhouse, where coordination is well known. Positions are instinctual almost, but Nighthaven, it's new and it's big. There's a lot you still need to find out, and players like EFAC, LickyFac down below with the pulse, constantly relaying intel to the defense for where GK are pushing from. It's just...
Bye-bye, Tricks. Sorry about that, my friend. And that's pulse play for you. That's exactly it. Hasn't changed in 8 years, and I highly doubt it changes in an additional 8. So, EFAC with a nice pickup, and that's what you're looking for when it comes to a map like this. You know, the Nighthaven Labs kind of reminds you a little bit of things like Consulate, with the way that things get cleared out, and the way that you can have these big sweeping roams. So, BDS flexing their muscles on defense so far, giving GK a hard time. Have Hashom on this shield, trying their best to work in from the garage. Have the planter in tow as well. Noodle's going to take quite a bit of heat from the drone hull here. No more frag grenades for him to try and assist in clearing out Alems. And they really need to try and scoop out one portion of this site. That's their biggest issue right now. That's why they're at this roadblock. Nobody really giving them a look.
No, and Noodle, who wants to be that player to remove Renshiro on Aqua and add a second dimension to this attack, he's 1 HP. That's such an easy fight for Renshiro to win. The rest are stuck inside of IT, inside a garage. BDS have basically worked GK in the exact same position GK worked BDS in on the previous second floor attack. But now, it's a lot more difficult. Hashom hitting a big rotate, though. Moved over to Aqua to add that second dimension. Leader catches one in the sight, but only does a little bit of damage. Renshiro pushes up, though. That's what we were waiting for. Now Hashom's got to unshield, try to take the fight. Key falls down. It's an excellent defense for BDS so far that is only aging better and better as the seconds tick by. Leader found a bit of damage earlier, but 5 different players all trained on his position. It's about as flawless as you can get while still dropping a body.
That's a perfect round from BDS on defense. And, you know, just showcasing what Nighthaven is all about. We saw it from GK. We saw it from BDS. Really, really solid.
We do have Jesse on the line. 7 rounds in. Jesse, what are you feeling about watching this game?
You know, at first I was a little bit nervous, Carter, because this was a bit of a rocky first half, but I don't want the viewers at home to be too
concern for BDS, because when BDS played Night Haven Labs in the EUL, they actually had a 6-0 defensive half. They were really, really strong on defense. Their rotation was basement into top floor into storage. And we've seen the top floor here. What really worked for BDS last time they played this map was they had this Shaiko Liquifac duo roam combo to really hold down the meeting hall connector side of the map, with Shaiko playing Legion and connector, and then we saw Liquifac down below on the Solus. Now, Liquifac this time playing a bit of the pulse, switched it up a little bit, but the idea of that strategy was still the same. I have to imagine BDS, they're still going to feel pretty comfortable on these defensive halves, and I think they're in a good spot to pull this game back.
Well, Jesse, to your point, we've got Liquifac on the Solus right now, so thank you very much, and let's take a look at round number 8 to see how BDS, with that in mind, start what might just be a comeback on the defensive side. The Shaiko, Liquifac duo roam. Liquifac certainly on their own with that Solus, but Shaiko on the Cade, alone on the bomb site. That's a switch up, ain't it?
Yeah, if you would have bet me money yesterday if Shaiko was going to play Kaid, I definitely would have taken that bet and 100% lost. So definitely see that one quite seldomly when it comes down to it. Usually see him on the more frag-centric characters, but that's perfectly okay. Doesn't mean that he can't land his shots here and play it off of the sights. So see how this goes for them. Is going to torch things out here. Smokes down. Oh, y'all. If you haven't seen this one in a while, welcome to it. He's going to torch the line and use these smokes on this side and see if there's anybody peeking this at all. And, well, that's Glaz's rifle for you. A little bit of recoil to that thing, especially with the suppressor on it, but he's going to tag up Shaiko. Bad news bears, though, is they now know about Glaz.
Indeed they do, and this will likely force a rotation from BDS. Maybe somebody pushing down the Aqua stairs, moving down below just to support a potential bomb site hit. Not giving up the roam entirely, but just to make sure that Shaiko has some support. Thankfully, though, this is a bit of a slow take from GK. It takes a lot of time to open up that hole in the wall. Oh! Key stepping on the C4 the moment it hits the ground. Opening pick going the way of BDS with a little effort from Shaiko.
And you want to talk about timing. Unfortunate
Doesn't get worse than that.
Track Stingers now to try and lock things up around the site. Either Hishom's going to have to try and sit here and chill and see exactly what he can get done. Leader with a nice discovery here on the second level. So he's just trying his best to sweep out this mid-floor. He does have the breaching charges, so he can assist with some verticality work. Where is the rest of the teeth of this offense? Look like we still have quite a few people around delivery. I saw the Brava across the map. I think that's Noodle working his way in from the garage angle. They have a good read on this Legion. It's going to be Alems over inside of storage right now. He does have the rotations, though, so going to make it to where he can quickly make some adjustments around this mid-level. But Noodle, I don't think that he knows he's still very close, and he'll find him. Alems actually almost with the flick there, too, if you notice those shots coming back. Crazy from him, but even better from Noodle.
But key part, almost with the flick, almost with the win.
Horseshoes, hand grenades.
Exactly. GK now up 4-3, 4v3, but quite literally in terms of man advantage and round count. To try to make it 5-3, Shaiko and Renshiro both on 50 health, but no sight control for GK at the moment. So much of BDS also consolidated around the cargo stairs. There's going to be a lot of time spent from GK. I was going to say with the soft destruction, but Hishom has been on this Glaz for so long and finally finds someone rotating inside of the bomb site. This is a great advantage for GK, but they need to make sure they don't make any mistakes. 20 seconds left. When you are just now moving into the site, you can leave a lot of gaps, but they're getting so many kills, they're making up for it in spades. Brede knows someone has pushed into Animus now. That's the only 1v1 that seems to be going his way. Noodle gives a second, but gives no quarter. 5-3 for GK.
Oh, BDS. This is going to get somewhat serious here in a moment as we are hurtling towards our potential final round here. GK with 5 rounds, a 2-round gap on BDS, and a timeout being taken by BDS here, Carter. And yeah, I totally agree with you. I am not a big fan of people taking tag timeouts when the other team has 6 rounds. 5 feels like really the last, you know, point in time where you really want to cross that bridge. But either way, though, I think this is just a testament to how talented GK are. I mean, you guys heard it there first from Jesse Che Chick. BDS with a perfect defensive set when it came to their European debut of this map up against Heroic, and GK giving them enough pressure that it's forced the timeout.
Just a position that, I mean, once you're there, when you're facing that underdog, you're thinking to yourself, oh, I mean, we were even rationalizing, like, W7M, they're coming in cold, it's just a map. But if you're BDS, you're thinking, we're not going to let that happen.
No,
I mean,
this was the true test for me. This was. Yeah.
This was the true test, but if you're BDS, you're thinking, we're not going to let that happen. I mean, we're not going to make those same mistakes. We've seen them play now. We're not going to underestimate them. Then you always think to yourself, it's just some meta team. Like, we should be able to win, right?
That's the problem right there.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
that's the mentality. This team can no longer be underestimated anymore. They've proven themselves with their win yesterday over W7M, with their #1 seed in play-ins, and now, even if they lose, a 5-7 loss to BDS,
Yeah.
that's a quality win in my book if you can get that scoreline against BDS and make them shake.
That's some high-quality H2O right there, my friend.
is.
And speaking of that, we'll continue on the references here because it looks like we're going to be moving somewhat aquatic on GK's side.
10 seconds
Got the
left
Jackal
before insertion.
moving in. We did have the Blitz there for just a split second, so I thought we were going to... Key, I love you
5
so
seconds
much.
remaining.
Oh, my... No! Go back!
too late.
You're no
Beyond the
fun.
pale.
Dude, I was going to invite him to the after party, but not anymore. Not anymore. Dude, I thought you were one of the cool kids.
Thatcher's fine, I guess.
I guess. I mean, if you want to be a loser. No.
Stay clear.
EMP's fantastic on this map, especially when you're trying to address things downstairs. You can get things going so very quick with the EMP radius nowadays, and they got the Selmas going as well. This low-key might be a... Oh, no, I'm gonna hold my breath on that one. It looked like we might have been going quick there just for a split second, Carter, because we were putting Selmas down so very quickly, but oh my. What do we got going on here on the mid floor?
Well, they break open the hatch while Hasham is standing on it to basically just not waste any time, and also maybe cover the sound cue of him dropping in case there's some player playing close inside a kitchen. Not many players around him, but there is someone relatively close by playing over inside the cargo area. Legion on the main stairs as well, or on the exo stairs, excuse me. They know someone's over there. Another drone flying in.
A bomb has been
Hasham has
located.
that for a fact now, but how aggressive is Renshiro going to get? Nade cooked, it flies out, and it
Nice.
just lands on the landing. Excellent bank shot by Hasham. Man advantage acquired for GK, but still needs some more control.
Really wanting to stand 10 toes on that stairwell, but not exactly the best bet, especially when you really don't have any utility to back yourself up. That's what leads to moments like this, and GK have already found the pick that they so desperately want for this opener. Now they can rotate back to their earlier efforts and try and get things to move in from delivery. Still have a couple of rotations to deal with up top. Have one over inside of Gen right now. It's Noodle working on this for the time being, but I think this is more than likely going to be a GK pressures downstairs, this guy roams,
Yes.
and Noodle kills him kind of situation.
Yeah, if Noodle plays patiently here. Oh, but the call goes out that there are EDDs on that door. And does Noodle relay his position? Leaky Fack is stalwart right now watching that door. A nuclear bomb could not distract this man from his task. But GK, a minute left. They want this. They want this 5v3. They see this roamer. One player over on connector side, the other coming in from assembly.
It's so impressive. Just their patience, their willingness to return to the drone game and see what they can get done. Especially when you're trying to address a map like this, Carter, as an IGL, you really want to make sure that you know what your head count is, especially for sight, because then you can do things like this. A huge find from Leader, Alems. He's been able to sneak in behind the bomb chassis, but won't be able to find too much just yet. He's getting pressured from both sides. Let's see how this swing goes.
There we go. He's taking down Noodle. Trickst also 3v3. BDS clawing back as GK on this bottom floor take. Both rounds in a row have not left themselves a lot of time. Before they had a Hasham relieving pressure. Now they lack that. And GK, they're starting to struggle, but Leader's in the spot he needs to be. Hasham lethal onto Licky Fack. Alem just finds one, but it's not enough. He's got to hit the reload. And as the Finka surge goes out, GK explode on the match point. 3 rounds BDS need to stop GK from being on the precipice of greatness.
Trying to send the Frenchman back to Paris, man. That's crazy. This is unprecedented. I could have saw a world where we were going to OT, but I think BDS have vastly underestimated what GK are capable of in like a moment-to-moment basis. Their ability to make the play and find those critical shots is paramount to their success up against BDS. We've seen this before with BDS. When teams have the ability to fight back, the games get good. But right now, GK are doing so much more than that. They are dominating BDS at every single turn. Even in that round, BDS still had a moment where they could have been able to flip the script and bring this round back across the line. But GK had so many things in place, Carter. They had the entire site encompassed. They were using their own mirror windows against them. Truly incredible stuff as they were able to break down that entire map. Fantastic patience up top as well. Didn't really have to go for that clear or anything like that. Just keeping a proper mind and not doing too much. They're doing what is necessary.
Well, buckle in, folks. For
Tell me about it, right?
win or
My God.
win or lose, this game is going in the history books. As if GK win,
Did I wake up yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Can you pinch me?
I can.
I don't. Either way, whether GK, he did pinch me. I appreciate it. If GK win, I mean, that story speaks for itself. But even if they force the comeback from BDS and they lose 8-6, 8-7, the fact that it was that close in the first place is an immense, immense statement for GK's quality and what they are capable of in the server.
Yeah.
Back to that top floor attack, though, and thankfully for you, Noodle has stuck the blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Attackers have located a bomb.
I can be a happy man once again. Now at this point, I mean, I might as well have like Hasham sign my forehead. This guy is going insane. Like, I'm never gonna wash it either. Just for the rest of my life. I'll get it tattooed. Whole spiel.
Oh.
Looks like we might be popping off here soon. Yep, bullets in, and oh! Is anybody gonna pay attention? Razor Bloom right there.
Oh!
What a shot out of a limbs. One that was so desperately needed. If he was not paying attention, he was so unbelievably dead. GK. Now I've lost Noodle. They're going to have to try and pop off now. I mean, the jig is up. They've dealt some damage. Trix taking a little bit of damage. Key all over the place on this one. Trix has one. 3 versus 2. Efac, Brede, what do you have?
Well, Leaky Fact still got some spark in him. It took a lot of his HP, but cut down to Shaw. Leader's got it too. Leaky Fact, the game is on the line here. It is you and only you to win.
He knows.
He's got the case in the bomb site. He knows where the diffuser's being planted, but Trix has put the bomb down. We're in a post plan, folks. The attack can now retreat, hold the passive angles. They've spotted Leaky Fact. They know his position. The Solus is intel too, but the attack has man advantage, and that is always going to be a looming thought in his head. The Solus has to get both of them, has to overperform, and then still defuse the bomb. He'll start to bait it out. Trix moves on in. He looks towards Jen instead. Trix pushes too far. Gun put down. Leader, you just need just a little bit more. One more pull, and he smokes him! Major champs, no problem. Best fragger in the world, a paltry sum against GK, who are now 2-0 in the Swiss and might just be one of the best teams in Atlanta.
Yes, Carter. The Falcons may have soared pretty high for MENA and showed off what that